Guys, I want to say thank you very much. We hit over 1 million views on Live and Alive. Thank you for supporting it. Thank you for watching it. If you haven't yet, go watch it. Share it with your friends. Comment, like, all that stuff. Live and Alive, streaming now on my YouTube. Thank you guys so much for your support.
The HoneyDew with Ryan Sickler.
Welcome back to the HoneyDew, y'all. We're over here doing it in the Night Pants Studios. I'm Ryan Sickler, RyanSickler.com, Ryan Sickler on all your social media. Look, I'm going to start this episode like I start them all by saying thank you. Thank you for not only supporting this show, anything I do. Thank you for supporting the special. At this time right now, it's only a few weeks. We're over 200,000 views on my new special, Live and Alive. Go watch it, streaming on YouTube now. If you want to help it, that's after YouTube pulled it out of the algorithm. You all did that. So like it, share it, comment, all that stuff. It really does matter. And if you got to have more, you got to have our Patreon show, The HoneyDew with y'all. It is this show with y'all, and y'all have the wildest stories we've ever heard in our life. We've been doing this for years now, and I promise you, it's $5 a month. It's never going to be more than $5 a month. All right. So if you or someone you know has a story that has to be heard, please submit it to us, honeydewpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your story. That's it. That's the biz. You know what we do here. We highlight the lowlights. I always say these are the stories behind the storytellers, and I am very excited to have this guest on with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tim Hardaway. Welcome to the HoneyDew, Tim Hardaway.
Thank you.
We're fired up to have you here, Tim Hardaway.
Fired up to be here.
Before we get into your story right there, please promote your book and anything else you'd like.
From the streets of Chicago to basketball, royalty to crossover. My book that just came out. And, if you want to know what made me and why I was that guy on that court and, my upbringing and the Chicago background. You need to get this book. You need to read it. It's a must read, and I think you will enjoy it. And it helps you out with your kids too about AAU basketball or sports in general, about how parents should be calm and cool and collective.
So first of all, congrats on the book. Is there anything else you want to put? Where can they find you on socials? All that
the
stuff?
Original Crossover King on Instagram and Facebook.
Is there a dude out there that's got Tim Hardaway and won't give it to you?
No, I still have Tim Hardaway.
Okay,
yeah.
Right.
I just didn't go there. Right.
Tim Hardaway hostage out there on Instagram.
I heard of people holding people hostage. Yeah,
they come on this show all the time. They got to be the or whatever.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I'm the Tim Hardaway.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
I want to say this real quick too, is I got to give a shout out to one of my daughter's teachers. She's 11, but this dude has been around for a minute, and he coached her brother, my daughter's brother's, my stepson, in basketball when he was younger. They're 11 years apart. And he was always a good coach. And I just said to him the other day, it didn't dawn on me. I go, how do you know Derek? He goes, I used to coach him in basketball. I was like, wait, you're the coach I talk about. He goes, you talk about me on the podcast? I said, yeah. So he goes, what do you mean? I said, well, he was always loud. But everything he was saying was positive. Mm-hmm. And that disturbed some parents. And there was an episode where a dude ran out. We thought it was, you assume it's let me back up. Guys always like, great hustle.
Right.
Get down the court. Way you shoot. It was loud. It was loud,
right.
But it was always positive. It was never like, what are you doing? It was just loud. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people, it confused them. Like, this guy's being loud with these kids. And there's a lot of soft-ass parents out there, too, today.
Yes.
Especially out here in Santa Monica.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a kid on our team. They called him Baby Shaq. And he was big. He's wearing a 12 when he was in, like, 6th grade, And this kid decided he was going to try to take the charge. And Baby Shaq ran him over like a freight train. And they're children.
Right.
Baby Shaq was up. The kid got hurt. Baby Shaq was crying because the kid was crying. Right. They're emotional children.
Right.
This dude runs out of the stands and gets up in the coach's face. Now, we all assume it's the father of the boy that just got trucked by Baby Shaq. It's not. It's just some dude that was tired of the coach. You coach him and do whatever. They had to throw him out of the gym. I'm looking around like, what the fuck's going on?
Wow.
I just want to say, as far as coaching and everything, because I've had some really good coaches. There are some that are they're loud, But as long as the message is positive, I don't have any issue with that, man. Get up their ass a little bit, but he's not. It's never. It was never negative ever, and the energy wasn't either. It was positive energy. I just don't think people are used to hearing loudness always with positive message behind it. You know, loud these days seems to be a negative voice.
I don't know why loudness should be a negative voice. I know coaches today, they do camps. They do basketball camps, and they need to be loud. You know, sometimes you blow a whistle, and then you have 300 kids. If you talking soft, the kid behind the 299th kid is not going to hear you. So you got to be loud, and you got to make sure that the kids hear you and understand you. I've been knowing coaches that was loud. We called him Rockamore. He was real loud, and it was only 10 of us in the gym. And he very positive, but he'd talk to you and make sure you understood what you were saying loud to everybody. He didn't care who was listening to him. He's very positive, but he understood that you needed to hear him. And he wanted you to hear him, and he wanted you to understand what he was saying. So yeah, I mean, some, a lot of these parents, or not parents, you said this guy coming out of the stands, he just was tired of it.
He was just tired of it.
I'm going to tell you this. I've been to a friend of mine, practice. Okay. And he was like, I want you to evaluate my son. And while the practice was going on, I was just evaluating his son. I was like, yo, you need to chill out. Stop it. He going to be all right. I said, your son can play. He just don't want to play. If he wanted to play basketball, he could play basketball. He just don't want to play. He out here for recreational reasons, just so he get out the house and do something because y'all want him to do something. But he can play. If he didn't have nothing else to do, he'd be able to play this game with no problem. But he don't like the game. He just coming out here recreational, and he's having fun with his peers and doing this. He's not going to dive on the ball. He's not going to do this certain amount of move. He's not going to play defense the way you want to play defense. He's not going. He just going to go out here and play basketball the way he wants to play basketball. I said, you need to calm down. But this other parent on the other end just on his kid.
Negatively.
You talking about loud? He's probably louder than the coach was that you talking about. And he was on his son, negative. And when I was about to go down there and talk to him several times, my buddy was like, Tim, we're going to be in here fighting. We're going to be in here seriously fighting. He said, Tim, do not go down there. I said, I can't take it no
like
more.
A man who's seen it before,
I just want to tell him, dude, shut the fuck up. Please.
His kid and all of us
your kid. I said his kid is gonna be at school fighting every day. His kid is gonna be at
taking
school,
it out on everybody else.
Taking it out on other people, taking it out on teachers. And where he gonna get it from? He gonna get it from you. That's what I want to tell his dad. You need to leave your son alone. He's actually doing what you asked him to do and doing more out there, and you still not satisfied. So I'm like, that's what I wanted to go down there. Tim, my friend was like, Tim, no, Tim, no. So I was fiddling my thumbs. I was down there. Lord, help me. I was like, give me courage so I won't go down here because my buddy don't want me to go down there and talk to him. And then so I was on my way out. Same thing. I was on our way out. He's steady into his son. I mean, dude, practice is over with. You steady into him. You should have saw his son's face. It was dismal. It was like, he was like, I can't do nothing to make this man happy. And I said, this kid is going to end up, really hurting himself or hurting somebody. And it's going to be because of his fault. Now, I felt really bad for the kid.
Now look, I want to get into this.
Yeah.
Because the timing of you
but
being
you got
here
into that first.
Is,
so,
I know, but I want to ask you another question because you led into, you mentioned about coaching, helping, all this stuff. At your level, who's the coach that you respected the most that you also knew had to come in and had to put ego aside, like Tim Hardaway, Kobe, whatever, you're fucking up here. Like who's the man that can come in Is that a John Daly, a Coach K? Who's the guy that has to come in and say, like, look, I know every one of you motherfuckers is a Hall of Famer here, but I got to coach and I got to tell you when you fuck up. And you got to be open to hearing that and being able to be coached and vice versa. Who's the man that you worked with that you feel did the best job of dealing with Hall of Fame men and figuring out how to, organize that?
I'm going to tell you shit. So I respected all my coaches. I never had a problem with none of my coaches. Grammar school coach taught me all the fundamentals, taught me how to play, taught me how to have confidence, taught me how to post up, taught me how to take care of my body, taught me how to run a team. And it started from there. High school coach, same way. But I listened to them. They was always candid. They was always, honest with me. They was honest with the team. And, always told me or us who had to work on their game. I probably worked on my game the most because I just love playing the game of basketball. Then I went to college with Don Haskins, great coach, Hall of Fame coach. I played with 3 Hall of Fame coaches, and Don Haskins. And he taught me.
Where'd you go to college? UTEP?
Yeah, UTEP.
Where was your high school?
Carver High School.
Where's that?
That's in Chicago.
Okay.
That's in Argyle Gardens.
Okay.
Like suburban, but it's still in Chicago, but we right outside of the city. And and my grammar school coach, Cone Elementary, Donald Pittman, taught me everything. And I still revert back to him when I was like having slumps. I call him up and say, hey, he said, just go back to the basics. Just go back to the base. Go back to your roots. And I did that. And, you and then you get back into the swing of things. But, Don Haskins taught me a lot. Just maturity as I got older and played for him. But, you get to Don Nelson and Pat Riley, 2 other Hall of Fame coaches that played in the NBA, that won rings as players and as coaches. Don Nelson didn't, but Pat Riley has. And but all those coaches instilled in me, just run the team, do what I was supposed to do, run the team. Here's the keys to the car. You the captain of the car. You taking us to that promised land. You taking us to that next level. You making sure that everybody is on board, ready to go. And I don't think I taught myself how to understand coaches. I taught myself how to make coaches understand me as a basketball player. As a player, you got to know what a coach wants out there, but you also got to do your own thing while you're out there, because you're out there playing, and you got to instruct the guys what you see and how you see it and what's going to make y'all excel and win the game. So, I like I said, I had Hall of Fame coaches, and I think that we all.
Who coached your Olympic team?
Who was that? Oh, it was Rudy Tomjanovich.
Tomjanovich.
Yes, Rudy Tom, another Hall of Fame.
I forgot.
And Larry Brown was our coach before that. The trials in Puerto Rico, and he was another Hall of Fame coach. So I've been all around Hall of Fame coaches all my life. I know how to deal with them. They know how to deal with me. I show them respect. But go out there, do what they want you to do, but you go out there and do your own stuff too. And make it happen. That's how you fall in love with one another. So I never had a coach that, I had to go back and forth with, or we didn't like each other, anything like that. Of course, you got to adapt. Of course, you got to have conversations. Both people got to have conversations and dialogue, and we move on and we get better like that.
Well, the timing having you on here right now, I always tell everybody, nobody knows timing better than comedians and drummers. And this is just lucky timing here. So while we're sitting here, our current episode out right now is John Amaechi. I've had other athletes on. I've had Orlando Brown Jr. We've had Tony Hawk. Never had NBA guys. They all of a sudden get 2. Mm-hmm. And then somehow you 2 are directly sort of related in the story he told, and you have here in this book as well.
Yes.
So let's talk about it. John was the first post career, first openly gay NBA player, and you were outspoken about that. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then tell us, like, you've had what happened, and you have a change of heart now. And
well, you know what, I had to deal with a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. You know, my kid.
What made you speak out? What made you say? Were you asked the question?
I was asked a question.
Yeah.
You know, I was asked a question. You know, and I grew up in a different background than
Your religious background.
Yeah, religious background. You know, we walking away from, you know, what you want to call it, LGBTQ now. You know, we didn't know what to call them then. You know, you was like, you know, dyke or bull dagger or you know, you go like this and you go like that. You know, and then I went to church, and the churches be talking about it too. You know, you go.
They would.
Oh yeah, they would. You know,
Okay.
You're not supposed to be this way. You're not supposed to be that way. You know, you're supposed to be a boy. You're supposed to be a girl. You know, you're not supposed to wear your hair like this or do it, that type of stuff. So I mean, and you go to church because you back then. I don't care what you say. You went to church.
Yeah, and you also, you're a kid. You believe what you're being told and what everyone around you is telling you.
Right,
Yes.
exactly. You're being told, and that's the way it was. And then when you go out and see it, and you see, as we call them back then, Dad, as you see them walking down the street and you know, doing whatever, you say things, but I really didn't say nothing. I just moved away from them and walked a different way. And you know, people always make a joke. Oh, you better not mess with them. They strong, and they have you over here, and they be kissing on you, stuff, all type of stuff. You know, making fun and stuff. So yeah, when Dan Leibert asked me the question, I said something cruel. I said something very, very bad. I said something that has stuck with me since that time, and it's going to stick with me. And I understand that, and I have to deal with it. And the only way I could deal with it is talk about it and make people understand that you can change, and you can not only change, but help what you made a wrong with. And what I said was, I hate gay people, and I think they should be, you know, whatever. And I took onus with that. I and you got to understand my background and how I grew up. My parents said, if you do something wrong, you got to make it right. If you got to correct it. You know, you have to correct it. And that's all I wanted to do, was try to correct it. Oprah Winfrey wanted me to come on. She would have crucified me.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't ready to go on there. And then she you know, she bad mouthed me. I got a lot of bad things to say about her because she went to the city of Chicago and do nothing for the city of Chicago. So I got a lot of bad shit to say about her if I wanted to. So, but I keep it, you know, low key and stuff like that. But she crucified me and said that, you know, for every whatever reason, you would have crucified me. You know, I wasn't ready to come out and speak to you and talk to you about that right then and there. I had to go get some counseling.
How old were you at the time, too?
How old was I?
Well, how old were you?
I was about 40.
Okay.
41, somewhere around there.
All right, so
and yeah, so
but I saw you apologize. I saw John acknowledge the apology.
Well, yeah, I apologize, but you know, I wanted to go a step further. I wanted to help.
But before you go a step further, let me ask you this question. I do understand your upbringing and where the mindset comes from and everything. What made you realize, oh, I fucked up? Like, I get why, but what made you finally, and when do you go, oh, I did do the wrong thing? When does that happen?
So first of all, when you come home, you see your kid's face.
How old are your kids at the time?
Oh, it was
grown.
What? No, they was in what? Grammar school.
Okay.
They were still in grammar school, going into high school.
How many kids?
3 kids. So
Okay.
my youngest one really didn't know. She was still young, about 5, 6 years old. But my other 2, oldest one, 33 now, 32. They they was looking at me, Dad, do you know what you did? We got friends that are gay. We got, we know friends that are gay. You see how they looking at us and talking to us in a bad way and everything. And I was like, yeah, I know. And then, I have relatives too that are gay, and I got friends.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
There's one family out there that does.
Right. And I
There
got
ain't no
friends
way.
that are gay. And, they told me, they all told me this. They said, you fucked up. All right, you fucked up, but we still behind you.
Okay.
We still love you. And we know that you are the type of person that's going to turn this around because we know you. We know the kindness in your heart. We know where your head is at. We know how you tick. You could talk a good game and this and that, but we know that you're going to go out there and do what's right. And they knew that, but what the message was is, we got your back. Whatever you need us for, we got you. And we understand that you fucked up, but you got to correct it.
But go make it right.
Go make it right. And I said, okay, we'll do.
How long is the time from you making the comment to you saying, I am going to make this right?
What? Probably 2 weeks.
Oh, quickly.
2 weeks.
And were your kids getting like bullied at school, or at least?
No, they wasn't getting bullied. They friends were still friends.
They were, okay.
They they still was everybody was still cool with them, and everybody knew it was me. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't them. It was just me. And, I was scared that, that they was going to get bullied. I was scared that somebody was going to do something to them, but nothing happened. Everybody was real cool. And yeah, it took me 2 weeks, but I didn't get no sleep for 2 weeks.
I bet.
Did not get no sleep for 2 weeks. Didn't go nowhere because, I went to the grocery store one time and, you could feel eyes all on you.
Geez. These days with the social media.
It was tough. It was tough. It was very tough. And
can I ask you this too? Because you grow up a religious man.
Mm-hmm.
So now you got a couple of conundrums here. I got to turn my back on this religion and this way of life that I thought was right, and all these people I trusted and valued told me was the right way. So you got to give that up while going forward with this. Which was harder, giving up this old way of thinking or adapting to a new way of thinking? Which was scary?
You got to get out of the old way of thinking, and
it was your children really that started that, seeing your kids.
It was my children, but you got to talk to the Lord too. You got to talk to the Lord. You got to get a relationship and talk to Him, and He'll point you in the right direction. He pointed me in the right direction. He had me talk to different organizations like the Yes Institute, Big Institute, and
so tell me. So when you, after 2 weeks, you said you apologized.
I apologized, but nobody took the apology, really, really seriously. And but I knew what I had to do. So I me and my crew, my people, we seeked out some different groups, and which group was the best group for me to go to, institutes that best can I could sit down and have a in-depth dialogue and talk with them. And it was called the Yes Institute, and it was really, really, really right by my house. Like I could walk to it if I wanted to. And I could walk. It was about
but isn't it funny though?
It was about a 40-minute walk.
Isn't it funny though that the answer's 40 minutes away?
Right, 40 minutes. I'll walk,
on, man.
just to walk. But drive is like
the
a
answer's
10 minutes.
A walk away.
Yeah.
That's the story of life.
And I'm gonna tell you this: I used to drive because it was traffic on US 1. I used to drive past there to get past traffic every day. Did not even know that was a place where people come to get comfort for being gay or transgender or whatever. And I went there, and they opened their arms to me, and we did a bunch of stuff for about 4 or 5 months.
What are you doing with them?
So we doing so actually different groups are coming in. And we having dialogue, we having seminars with different groups from Philadelphia, another group from New York, some other groups from out in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and then we had one young lady. She was about 6'7", and her name was Raj, and she was really, really, really in a bad place, really, really in a bad place, and we really helped her out. That's what made it so great. I was there to help
You saw
her
the
out.
difference.
I
You
saw the
made the
difference. I made a difference,
Yeah.
saw the difference. And it felt great to because the parents put him out. He was being bullied. It was just a lot of things going. He wanted to commit suicide. But when we talked to him, I talked to him and just a dialogue and have an in-depth conversation with him. We pulled him out of suicidal, and it was just cool to be there and witness that and have fun. I really enjoyed it. Tell you the truth,
I can see it in you. I can see
I
you
really
telling
enjoyed
you
it.
you
Yeah,
did. Yeah,
I
see.
really enjoyed it, and I had fun. And
So this is your first time even hearing these stories.
Yes.
Like my own
Yes.
family threw me out because I'm
Yes.
gay.
Yeah,
And that's when you're like, oh, holy shit.
Right.
I didn't
even know that. And he getting bullied while he's out there. People are bullying him. People are doing stuff to him that is not right. These are people.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about being gay or transgender. These are people.
Yeah, they're human beings.
They're human beings, and people are doing stuff to them that because they don't like who they are or what they are. So I really got into it, and I when I hear people talk, I be like, hey man, or young lady, hey, that's nothing to joke with. These are people's lives. These are people that they struggling, and you don't want nobody to mess with you while you struggling.
Mm-hmm.
So same courtesy, be respectful. So I can really talk to people and really make them see or make them understand that that's not the road that you want to go down.
So you say you have 3 children?
Yeah, I have 3 children.
Were you ever worried they would be homosexual, any of them? Was it ever a concern?
No, it was never a concern.
And what about-
But if they did,
Yes.
I wouldn't throw them out.
Prior to you thinking the way you think now, how would you have handled it?
Prior, I still wouldn't throw them out.
But what would you do?
I would have been
Be
upset.
upset.
I would have been upset.
You're not kicking. You wouldn't. Your kids aren't going where you help these people.
Yeah, they go there help
Right.
to talk to, and
But they're not living there.
They not living there. They living at my house. They gonna eat my food. We still gonna have a conversation. It probably took me a while to get used to it, but I would have got used to it. But it would took me a while. But I wouldn't outcast and have my kids out there alone and not knowing what to do and how to do it. You would have a house to live in, no question.
Who, without naming any names or anything, who in your family was homosexual that first came to you? And did you know? Was this their first time coming out to let you know, hey, I'm gay and this really bothered me?
Yeah, I don't want to
you don't have to
mention their
say,
name or
but a
whatever.
relative.
But it was a relative of mine, very close relative of mine, and my kids knew he was gay. I didn't.
And they guessed it, or they knew? Like they
knew.
talked to him.
They knew.
So
they
they're
talked to him. Yeah, they having that
dialogue
dialogue, and they told me. I was like, what? So, oh wow, and I talked to him, and he told me, and we just went from there.
And now you feel whatever.
Right.
The holidays are almost here, and if you still have names on your list, don't panic. Uncommon Goods makes holiday shopping stress-free and joyful with thousands of one-of-a-kind gifts you can't find anywhere else. You'll discover presents that feel meaningful and personal, never rushed or last minute. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. Many are crafted by independent artists and small businesses, so every gift feels special and thoughtfully chosen. I'm a pain. I'm a hard person to buy a gift for, even for myself. And when I went on Uncommon Goods, I was like, let's see what they have. They have so many great gifts, especially if you have somebody on your list it's hard to get a gift for. I promise you that. I found tons of stuff I liked on Uncommon Goods. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, from moms and dads to kids and teens, from book lovers and sports fans to foodies, mixologists, and gardeners. You'll find unforgettable gifts that are anything but ordinary. And with every purchase you make in Uncommon Goods, they give back $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3.1 million to date. So don't wait. Make this holiday the year you give something truly unforgettable. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/honeydew. That's uncommongoods.com/honeydew for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary. If you are a last minute shopper, you know the feeling. Shelves are empty, ideas are running low. Aura Frames is the solution with the gift that feels personal. So Kirsten gifted her grandma, who's always impossible to shop for. She got one. So Kirsten can upload photos of her family from states away, and then you get to listen to her be excited when she calls that a new photo popped up on her frame, right? You don't have to be there to do that. So basically, she's the gift-giving MVP this year. That's actually, I really love that. You know what I mean? Like, you got the frame over there, and then boom, you're popping up. She can send stuff to you. It's really nice that you can connect that way. And it's that simple. You just download the Aura app and you connect the Wi-Fi, and then you can upload unlimited photos and videos. And as long as your Aura frame is connected to Wi-Fi, you can keep adding your favorite photos and videos from anywhere at any time. Every frame comes packaged in a premium gift box with no price tag, and you can even preload it with a personalized message before it arrives if you're getting it to someone else. You can't wrap togetherness, but you can frame it. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using promo code HoneyDew at checkout. That's AURA frames.com, promo code HoneyDew. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast. So order yours now to get in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Choosing work boots used to mean sacrificing comfort or durability. If they felt good, they didn't last. If they lasted, they wrecked your feet. But Brunt Workwear thought that was BS. So they built tough boots that feel great from day one. All right, so these are the Marins right here. All right, they got a soft toe. They're waterproof, all right, which has been great because it's been raining like crazy here in LA lately. And the best part, these boots really are ready to go out of the box. No weird break-in period where you have to get blisters. So you know what that they're right for you. All right, you got oil resistant, slip resistant, and non-marking. Brunt. I told you all before they even came to me, I was looking for boots and I already owned a pair of Brunt. So whether you need the safety toes, the soft toes, waterproof, pull on, lace up, they got options to cover whatever job site you're walking into. And Brunt stands behind what they make. You can wear them to work. And if they're not right for you, send them back. I don't know any other brand doing that. That's a company that believes in their product. With temps dropping and the holidays coming up, it's time to treat yourself or the hardworking man in your life to real comfort. Skip the throwaway gifts and get them something built to last. Brunt Workwear. Our listeners get $10 off their entire order with code HoneyDew at checkout. That's bruntworkwear.com and use code HoneyDew. Order today and let them know you heard it here on the show. Now, let's get back to the do. Isn't it wild, though? You get taught all this shit when you grow up, and then at some point, no matter where. But also, kudos to you. Because you're not some 20-year-old man.
No.
You're 40s.
40, yeah.
You could easily just stood 10 toes down and be like, no, that's just the way I feel and fuck it.
Right.
You know, that's a lot of old people's way of
a
moving
lot
forward,
of old people's
too. Like,
way.
I don't give a shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, but for you to see pain in your own kids and your own family and then going and helping and seeing like, holy shit, this is happening to these people just because of a sexual preference.
And what I said, and you know, Tim Hardaway, what Tim Hardaway said, it seemed like it made it for people to go out there and continue to harm folks. And
because you co-signed
right,
their way of belief.
I co-signed their way of belief. And when I truly found that out, I was like, oh no, no, I don't want I don't want that to happen. I don't want people to say, well, Tim Hardaway said it was all right.
So yeah, that's the shit they're saying. Want to beat somebody. Tim Hardaway said I could. You're like, no.
I don't want that
legacy.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah. No, I did not want that. Yeah,
that would be terrible.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
So now, do you continue? Do you have your own organization? Do you continue to work with the community?
I always worked with the community in Chicago. I do a lot of stuff in Chicago.
You
with
still
the
go
community.
back and like talk or?
Yeah, I always go talk.
Yeah.
I always go talk to kids. I always, make it known, if something wrong with you and you need to talk to somebody, talk to them. Because, I tell them, I said, we didn't have nobody to talk to. We were scared to talk to somebody. Our parents like, if you bet not tell nothing what's going on in this house. I'm 59.
I'm 52. And I always say we were the walk it off generation.
Yes.
Ain't nobody to talk to. Ain't nobody make you feel better. No, the motherfucker. Walk it off.
Walk it off. I got used that now. Walk it off. That's what we did. That's why you play sports. Yes. You ran track, or you played basketball, you played football. You had to get that off your chest. You had to get it off your back. And I said, it wasn't mentally ill when we was growing up. Nobody said you mentally ill or somebody's mentally ill. It was like you was fucked up or you wasn't fucked up.
Yeah.
And that was that. But there was nobody to talk to, and you had to just have it all in. And now I tell kids, hey, if you got something to talk about to somebody, talk to somebody.
Man, find a good person.
Yeah,
to talk to.
find somebody that you trust. I don't care who it is, but you talk
mom.
to.
She was like my mom, and I was like, man, thank God, because I had parents. She's there and listening to me, and she would also a good thing she did for me, and I still talk to her. She's 80 now, I think, and she'll be mad at me if she's 78. But either way, she would always take the other side on purpose, and then have me do it and argue the other point.
Okay.
So if I'd have said what you said, she would have made me argue, now why do you support them?
Right.
And I would have to make me think, well, this and it really did start to open my mind up, and well, shit, damn, there are other sides to all this. Not my way isn't the only way, and two middle fingers up to everybody.
Right.
So tell me about your upbringing. Are you from the Chicago area?
I'm from Chicago
originally?
area. Yeah, I'm from Chicago, born and raised on the south side of Chicago.
Is your dad an athlete or mom an athlete?
Yeah, my dad was a playground legend. Everybody knew him, Donald Hardaway. I used to go watch him play all the time, and the only thing I could do at that particular time was sit on a basketball. And then, my mom, she was, both of them worked. Both of them was together until all the way up to 6th grade. And that's when she decided to leave him because he was abusive. He was abusive, domestic violence.
You seeing that and witnessing that too?
Witnessing that.
Are you the only child?
No, I'm the oldest.
Of how many?
Two of us.
Two of you.
Me and my brother. And he's 7 years younger than me. And I saw it. He was an alcoholic. Alcohol is definitely a disease, and it can help hamper your living
so
habits.
You just said it's a disease.
It is a disease.
I had David Keckner on here recently saying the same thing, and the comments on that particular promo blew me away because there's so many people arguing that it's not a disease.
No, it's a disease.
And I'm not an alcoholic, but I've sat across from enough of them on this show and in my life that I firmly believe it is too.
No, it is a disease. I seen it firsthand. The alcoholism is a disease, and you have to hit rock bottom before you can start controlling it. You have to come to a realization that I ain't got nowhere else to go except up, and I got to stop this, or I'm gonna go deeper down. So
when they split, do you go with mom or dad? Or are you back and forth?
Mom, no. It was mom. Dad was, still an alcoholic. Once we left, he was still drinking and carrying on for a while. And I had to literally have him not come to my games. in high school. I had to, and I was scared
He
to tell
show up
him.
drunk or something.
Yes, and yelling and stuff, and I had to.
He's that guy we're talking about.
Right. And I had to tell
No
him.
wonder you wanted to go down and tell that dude for real. Also, you had a little extra sauce on that. I'm sure
It's not because of that.
I'm
It's
saying
because-
it was
it's
in
because-
there.
Yeah, but
It was back in
it
there.
wasn't that. But yeah, I had, that was the hardest thing for me to do.
So you'd have to tell him,
that
I
I
don't
had
want you to
tell
come.
him, yeah, you can't, you unless you stop drinking, you can't come to my games anymore. And I,
Would that anger him or upset him?
see, as I'm telling him, I don't know. But as I'm telling him, I'm like scared, shaking, ready to cover up, ready to run, ready to do whatever I need to do to get away from him so I won't get beat up.
Mhm.
But he took it. And now that was very surprising of me.
And he didn't come?
And he didn't come until he got himself together.
Okay, so he got himself together.
Yeah, he got himself together.
So
But
it meant
they
something
stay
to him,
real.
though.
Yeah, it meant something. But they relapse here
Mhm.
and there. But he didn't come to the games anymore. Being an alcoholic. I mean, drinking. So
How old was he when he passed?
My dad's still living. He's
Oh, he is?
82,
Okay.
83,
So
82
he's
years
seen you
old,
playing.
81. Oh yeah, he's seen me in the NBA and been to games. He
Fuck
been sober for about 35 years.
Oh, wow.
yeah, maybe 40 years. Yeah, I stopped keeping up with it long.
But that's impressive.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
That's an older man from a different era who changed. You
Yeah.
yourself changed.
Yeah.
Good for you.
But we had a conversation when I was in the NBA, when I was in Miami. Actually, we had a conversation. It came out, and he said, "I didn't know you felt that way." I said, "Well, we never had a conversation about it, but since we're gonna have a conversation, this is how I really feel about it, and what you did and how you did, and I let him know that I wasn't cool with it. I'm still not cool with it. You my dad. I love you, but it's still hard for me to not accept you, but forgive you. I can't. It's hard. It's still hard for me to forgive you. I still love you and everything, but what you did was tough. It was tough, and it's still. I still remember a lot of things.
I'm saying, like, I hear what you're talking about, too. I'm sure you mean overall in general, too, but I'm
Right.
also sure you're talking about you seeing him put hands on your mom.
Yeah,
You
of course.
saw that.
Of course.
And the aftermath of that.
course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yep, of course. And that was tough. And when you, and I asked them, I said, yo, I'm gonna put certain things in this book. I need for you all to tell me yes or no. And once I got through with that segment, I gave it to them. Both of them said they couldn't read it. They got to the first.
Talking about mom and dad?
Yeah, mom and dad.
Mhm.
I said, well, y'all got to read it so you can let me know. What should I exclude? What should I keep? What?
Mhm.
And they never told me nothing. So I just left it as is. And, and some things that you have to say the right way and put it on paper the right way. And once I read it, Jacob Utley, he did a great job at putting it in the way that I was saying it
Mhm.
and not how I was meaning it. Because you can hear what I'm saying, but you know what I mean.
Mhm.
So he put it down exactly how I said it, and he understood. I was like,
Your voice. He
my
got your voice.
right? And I said, look, you this is kind of tough because I don't want both of them to feel ashamed about anything, which they still are. My mom's gonna feel ashamed that she should never let that happen. She left him early, and then my dad's gonna feel ashamed that he did that to her, and and everybody's gonna know that. So but I try to put it as mildly as I could.
Well, this is the other thing, too, It's a lesson in life to just be a nice person.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who the fuck your kid's going to turn out to be.
Right.
If he's going to publish a book if they're going to have a podcast, there's a thing called the internet. What are you talking about? Oh, yeah, we get to tell all the shit y'all did. You know what I mean? So now it's just like, man, cameras are everywhere. Microphones are everywhere.
But I'm going to tell you something. But,
person.
you know, he was there when my mom needed him to straighten us up. You know, my mom called. So he was there. My mom
if you all
said,
were getting out of line,
my
mom was like, I'm
called him
calling
up.
Dad.
And I was like, yeah, whatever. She called him up the first time. He came by and got us real quick, and we found out that he's gonna come.
Santa's real. Bad Santa's real.
He's gonna come. Well, you got you got to test your mom. You test your mom. Yeah, right. He ain't coming by. Right. Whatever. That dude came by. Knocked on that door. I was like, oh, Lord. yeah, we got right. And then she's like, you want me to make that phone call? No, do not make that phone call.
We don't want to see that.
No. We cool. My bad.
Funny,
I'm sorry. Yeah. And every time you want to do something or talk crazy or something like that, be like, oh, yeah. No.
Well, what made you want to write this book? What?
Well, everybody, I talk about a lot of stuff. Dad, basketball, growing up in Chicago, gangs, what made Tim Hardaway to be Tim Hardaway? Why was I this type of player? Why did I have that type of mindset? And everybody's like, yo, you should write a book. You should write a book. And everybody kept saying it. You should write a book. And so Jacob called. He was like, no, he calls Tim Donovan, Miami Heat guy. Miami Heat PR guy. And me and Tim Donovan, great PR, one of the best in the business. And Tim hit me and it went on, and Jacob called me up and it just went from there, and I just said fine. And every week, for about 6 months, we was just talking for about 2.5 hours. And but I mean, then when I started reading it, I was like, wow, this really about to happen. I'm really about to tell everybody my story. And everybody want to hear my story. And growing up in the city of Chicago was tough, man. It was tough.
You mentioned gangs. Did you run with gangs?
No, I didn't. I did not run with gangs. I stayed away from gangs. I knew about gangs. I knew personnel on gangs. I've been to meetings and seen what happened in meetings.
What do you mean?
Like a gang meeting, like a gang, like Warriors. Mm-hmm, if anybody ever seen Warriors, yeah. I mean, throwing up gang signs and wearing your hat this way, that way.
And it's like a meeting?
It's like
but
a meeting at the headquarters.
Are you trying, they trying to recruit?
No.
I was just there.
I was just there.
Okay, you were a guest.
I just knew some people, and
you were a gang members plus one.
Right. I was just looking. I was just looking. I was like, oh, this was going on. Wow, okay. This was happening. Wow, you got to know the literature. You got to know this. I mean, because if you want to become in the gang, that's what you got to do anyway. You got to go there and look at everything, and then you be like, no, I'm not gonna go. But they knew I wasn't gonna be in the gang, so I just went just to see what was happening. I was like, oh yeah, this is very different. This is very different. And the Air Rookers, the Disciples, the Vice Lords. The traveling vice lords, this person, that, it's crazy. It's crazy. And the way we grew up, you had to know where you was at, what territory you was at, how to wear your hat. I stopped wearing hats.
You had to know, what do you mean by how? Like
hats.
Color or the way you wear it? Like you can't tilt it or backwards?
And you had to wear it straight, because if it was one way, either or.
That meant something else. Backwards probably means something else.
No, backwards. And if it was backwards and it's one way or the other way, that means something else. So that's why I stopped wearing hats.
Yeah, I would too. God forbid you sweat and take it off and it's just crooked a little bit, cockeyed over here, you're getting shot.
Right, you put
that's wild.
No, you wasn't getting shot. You was getting beat up. Back then, nobody was getting shot. You was getting beat up. And but yeah, it was tough, man. Drugs, alcohol, it was tough. It was tough. You playing basketball and the ball go out of bounds. Somebody running the ball. Yo, let me hit that. Somebody hit a joint. Somebody take a swig of a beer or something like that and playing basketball. Hey, that's the way it was. But nobody, only gangs was, beating up people. They wasn't killing nobody. And then, and just drugs. But yeah, you know how to conduct yourself and everything. But yeah, it was tough. I didn't want to be either or because I knew I couldn't survive in that.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't my survival.
Listen, I'm from Baltimore originally. I like to think I'm tough. I wouldn't last 2 days in prison. Yeah. The first day I'd be crying the whole fucking time they kill me or whatever on the second. I am not built for that shit.
Right. It's not, but it's
none of that.
But it's not only prison though. It's the where you got to go at for the meetings and all that type of stuff. It's like the gangs are your family.
Mm-hmm.
So you going home, it's 15 people coming with you to the house.
I see.
Your mom, so-and-so here, it's 15 people in your crib, in your mom's crib. Yeah, where the water at? Where this at? You're not cooking? Stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They run the house. That's what they doing. Then they leave out. All right, Mom, I'll be back. You might have 4 or 5 people come back with you. They sleep there. That gang is a family.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's about. And your mom, either she gonna kick them out, or she gonna let you do it. If she lets you do it the first time, it's gonna happen. Over. They run the whole house. They running everything. So yeah, I knew my mom wasn't going for that. My dad wasn't going for that. So yeah, I chose not leave the gangs alone. And I knew drugs wasn't my thing.
So you stay out of it. When do you realize you have something with basketball? Like something real. Where you can go to the league, not
I just wanted to go to college
and all that.
I just wanted to go to college. And the best thing for me was when I went to Texas El Paso.
Really? You had no intention originally of dreams of NBA? You just wanted to get to college first?
Well, I wasn't really thinking about NBA.
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
I was just thinking about basketball and getting to college and getting out of Chicago and just doing something.
Mm-hmm.
And as I come back home for Summer League Pro-Am, I know I was good. Then I became really, really good. Then I became really, really, really good. And then
but when are you seeing that? You know what I mean?
I'm seeing it every year.
So when you're able to tell yourself like, fuck yeah, we're getting better.
Yeah.
All right, we're doing better this year. We're getting better. We're better at that now, stronger at this now.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Every year. And, I get to tell a story. Guy was like, yeah, MJ is coming tonight. I was like, okay, fuck MJ. I don't know who MJ is. I'm like, shit, we about to win this thing, in the Summer League Pro-Am. He was like, nah. I was like, man, fuck. He said Michael Jordan. I said, okay, Michael Jordan, y'all gonna lose tonight. So I'm in a layup line and this and that. Guy walks up to me and he said, hey, Tim, I got a bet. I said, what's the bet? He said, well, you got to score within 4 points of Michael Jordan. I said, okay, cool. I said, how much you getting? He said, 100.
I want to understand this bet. Within 4, so if Jordan puts up 30, you got to have at least 26.
Easy.
Okay.
I said, that's easily done. I'm going to do that. If he had 62, no, he had 64, I had 60.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So
I've never heard this within 4. This is a new bet for me.
Yeah, they did. It was crazy bet. I said, okay, cool. And I said, what, how much is it? He said, about 100,000. I said, you gonna get 100,000. I said, what I'm gonna get? He said, what you want? I said, I want that new Louis Vuitton jacket you got. He was like, I said, you got a minute and a half to tell me. Once they no bet. He come back 20 seconds, let bet. I said, and I need 10,000. My mom needs to pay bills. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that much, but we need some more.
Yeah.
We're doing the work. Right.
He's just a contract guy.
Right. So he was like, all right, cool. So great game. Me, Nick Anderson, Kendall Gill, Alfred Hughes, my buddy Donald Reese on the team, Byron Irvin. We playing against Mike, Terry Cummins, Craig Hodges, and who else was it? About 3 or 4 other college players too. And we hooping. Gym is packed. We hooping. Michael Jordan's supposed to foul out twice. But that's Michael Jordan. So you only thing they said was you take your 2 free throws and then you get you retain the ball. He's like, all right, cool. So he could stay because it's for the crowd. It's for the fans. It's no fee to get in. Everything is free.
Oh, okay.
So it's free. So it's jam packed.
Oh, hell yeah.
We already over capacity.
I'll bet everybody's there.
The fire marshal and them was in there, and then they said they saw Michael was playing. They stopped. They was like, look, we gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
So we lose the game in double overtime, and Mike comes up and says, "Good game. That was a really good game." He looked at me. He said, "You got a chance." And I was going into my junior year.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Yeah, you got a chance." I was like, "Damn." MJ said, "I got a chance." I was like that. You know how that window was up, that door opened up just an inch. I kicked that motherfucker in. I said, if I got a chance, I'm in. I'm in.
And it wasn't just anybody.
No.
That fucking said you had a chance.
No, it was Michael Jordan.
This isn't just an inspirational person. You're like, this is the guy.
This is the guy.
Yeah.
He said,
the guy on the fucking shoe is telling you.
He didn't say you was going to make it. He said
you got a chance.
You got a chance.
And that just
That's
means
all
if you work at it and you do what you need to do,
yes,
you will
make
be
it.
here. Yeah.
Right. I was like, good. So, and I listen to folks too. As I growing up, I said, listening is a skill. It's not an art.
Mm-hmm.
It's a skill. Young people need to listen to what people is saying and stop shooting off at the mouth. Right? Like when you get through talking, right? They right back at you, like they mean or they mad about something. They don't want you to tell them anything. I listen to what people told me, and it helped me out in my life, in the course of my life. And I tell people, it takes a village to raise a kid. It takes a village to raise a kid, but the kid has to listen. Mm-hmm. And if the kid don't listen, he's not going to make it. We had a bunch of guys that was better than me. Isaiah, Mark Guire, Terry Cummings, Nick Anderson, Kendall Gill, Derrick Rose. We had a bunch of people that was way talented than us, but they didn't listen. That's why they didn't make it. If they would have ever listened and understood what people was telling them, they would have made it just like we made it, but we listened. And that's the difference between us and them. But I'm not saying that we was better than them. At basketball, they was better than us.
You're coachable and you listened and you learned.
We listened.
Yeah. So let me ask you this before we wrap it up here. Give me a welcome to the league moment. John gave us one. He put up 12 on the 90s Bulls, but he said he went up and Pip and blocked one into the fucking stands and said, welcome to the league.
Okay.
What's the first time you got one?
I'm going to give you one. All right. So we had Texas El Paso, and my first rookie game, preseason game. So playing Utah Jazz. Go out. And Utah
Are
out
you with
there.
Golden State at the time?
Yeah, with Golden State Warriors. And, we getting in the huddle. All right, let's go have a good game, blah, 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 blah. They said, okay, Tim, lead us out. So I'm at home. I'm like, cool, I get to lead the team out. I run out there, and I see Utah Jazz looking at me like, they laughing. They don't know that they looking at me like he don't know that they still up in the tunnel. And so the announcer said, and Tim Hardaway. And I looked around, I was like, oh, they got me. But I'm in El Paso. So I raised up my hands. I was like, yeah, I'm back home. And they gave me a standing ovation.
So it worked for you.
So it worked for
they
me.
were trying to clown you, but you flipped it back on.
Yeah, I flipped it back on. They clowned me, but I flipped it back on. But it was a good game. We beat Utah that night, and it was a good game. And but I'm gonna tell you this. First game against Kevin Johnson. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He fucked me up.
How? In
each and every way. Offensively, defensively, he was in my hand. He crossed me over. He did everything. Everything. Jump shot in my face. Everything. I couldn't do nothing right. He fucked me up.
He did.
Yeah. I went back. I could not get no sleep that night. I'm like, damn. this dude fucked me up. I'm gonna get him back. I'm gonna get him back. The next time we played him, oh yeah, I got some guy back.
You did?
Oh yeah. But no, he I mean, I had me turn around on defense and crossing me over, shooting in my face. I'm coming down stripping, like I'm about to shoot, stripping the ball. Oh yeah. That but I mean, that was probably my and that was like the first to second game of the season. So that was like, and the Warriors played them in the playoffs the year before. So they was like,
okay,
so
already heated with that.
Yeah, it was heated. So yeah, man, and yeah.
Let me ask you the other way, because obviously you're a Hall of Fame player, killer crossover, all that. When is there a game or a moment where you were like, yeah, I got this. I'm gonna be around. I'm gonna be one of the best.
You know what? You never. I don't think
I don't mean
say,
in a bragging way
I
or
say I was one
egotistical,
of the best. Yeah,
but where you were like, this is going to be my job. I can do this. And I can do it well. How about that?
My rookie year. I forget who we was playing, and had a good game. Had a really good game against a really good team. I forget who it was, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be all right. I mean, I didn't have like 30 points. I had like 20 points, 15 assists, something like that, and about 5-6 steals. And I was like, okay, yeah. I think it was against Seattle before Gary Payton got there. But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be all right. And then went from there. The next year, I was All-Star.
Hell yeah. I forgot to ask, did you, went double overtime, did you get within 4 of Jordan?
Yeah.
You got the Louis jacket and
I got
everything?
Louis
He got
jacket.
his money?
Yeah, he got his money. No, Mike had 64, I had 60.
Damn!
Yeah.
That's a shitload of points.
No, yeah, we was hooping.
You really were going for it.
I was going for the win.
I know.
I forget all the other stuff. It just happened to be that way. I could now if I was over, like if I scored 40, he scored 36, then I still would have won.
Oh, so you could have been 4 either way.
Right.
Outscoring them too.
Right. If I would have outscored them more,
then
I still would have been good.
Okay.
But no, it just happened to go that way. But yeah, man, it was a great game. It was a great game. Probably one of the best pro-ams game that in the city of Chicago that it was.
That's awesome, man.
Yep.
Listen, thank you for doing this.
No,
I can't thank you enough for coming on. My last question, advice you would give 16-year-old Tim Hardaway.
Man, the same advice people gave me. Listen and understand.
I mean, there needs to be a lot more of that going on right now. That's
it needs
the truth.
to be a lot more going on right now. If you listen and understand and be quiet, everything will be all right. It's a lot of people that don't listen and don't be quiet. Just listen. And the words are coming out.
Shut the fuck up.
Right.
And listen.
Right. Shut the fuck up.
A lot
and
more
listen.
of that needs to be going on.
I mean,
now.
a lot more of that.
I agree.
And I think it'd be a lot better.
I agree.
Because I did that, and that's why Tim is in the NBA. If I didn't do that, I would have tore my family up, and Tim wouldn't have been in the NBA.
One more time. Promote the book.
Killer crossover from the streets of Chicago to basketball royalty. Go get it. It's everywhere. It's out now. It's everywhere. Go to Amazon. Everybody getting it off Amazon right now. It'll tell you a lot about me, how I grew up, where I grew up, my mentality on the basketball court, how I, as a father, and just raising kids and being a husband. So this is a must get, a must read.
Thank you, brother. Go get it. Holidays are coming. Get on Amazon.
Yes.
Get the book right now. Go watch my special. Stream it on YouTube. And as always, Ryan Sickler on all your social media. We'll talk to y'all next week.